Hey everybody, welcome back to Adobe Live. Yes, waves in the chat because a longtime friend of the show is back with us. Voodoo Val is here in the house, and we're going to be doing all things fun today, illustration and Adobe Express animation. Val, welcome back.
Hi, it's so good to be back.
So we are getting into the dungeon deck. Is that what's on deck for us today?
Yes, Dungeon Deck. The dungeon is on deck for
I know,
sure.
yeah. It was a little repetitive, but it was accurate. Well, cool. I'm so glad that you're here with us. And we also have friends already in chat. I see Jacob Parrish, Jack Watson. Val, you're in the chat too, which is amazing.
I
So
am.
happy to see all you guys. I am keeping an eye on YouTube and Behance to just be a part of the conversation and ask any questions and just celebrate that Val's back with us. So we are happy that you're here with us and thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, welcome in, guys. It's good to see all of you. It's been a while since I've seen some of the names in the chat as well. So I'm super excited.
All right, sorry, I'm getting my other chat loaded here. It was having a glitch on my end. But Val, take it away. Walk us through what is Dungeon Deck? What can people be expecting to see throughout this stream?
So I am, as you guys, some of you guys might know, some of you guys who are new may not. I am a predominantly a dark fantasy artist. I do a lot of illustration, a lot of spooky, creepy stuff, but I also do a lot of graphic design, some minimal animations, and all kinds of stuff. And recently, I started working on this project with my buddy Potch. And it is a tabletop game. So this is like, I guess, like use cases for Adobe Express working with illustration for like a real project that I'm working on. Dungeon Deck is an adventure tabletop game that could be played with a deck of cards. So we are illustrating and designing a whole deck to go with this, as well as like pieces and all kinds of stuff. And I'm doing, like I said, all of the animation, all of the card layouts, and the product packaging design and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a blast, and I'm going to walk you through some of the stuff that we've been working on, been cooking up, and then I also have some actual printed stuff here that I can show off to the camera too, so you guys can see some of the things. I have a question, Val. How did you get so cool? Oh, Jacob, you're so sweet. It's good to see you. Um, so Dungeon Deck. I had to do like a title brick illustration, of course, because no game is complete without your big title illustration. I've picked out some pretty cool fonts. These are all Adobe fonts because we love Adobe fonts. So Cabazon Regular, and I don't know how to say that. I'm gonna say it's
Yeah.
Gatan. Latin Regular. That's what I'm going to assume that it is. And then I also have illustrations for the suits
Ooh.
and their secondary colors. So diamonds and spades, they have like the colors that you see here, but for hearts and clubs, there's like a little extra color that comes in on the cards to separate. So the heart suits are pink, the diamonds are orange, the spades are green, the clubs are blue. And then I also have these little periphery things. So kind of like the whole project card deck, and we also did these little informational cards because this past few months there was the PAX convention in Boston that I went to, and so we had these like little cards made up to actually like hand out to people to let everybody know that the game is coming out soon. And Potch actually did play tests on the show floor
Cool.
for the game. So there's people who have played it, but I did a bunch of illustrations for this kind of stuff. In fact, I have the card here. I don't know if it's possible to do like a little zoom in, but I've got our card with like the card back illustration and everything,
I
which
love
was
the
really
visual
fun.
aid. It's incredible.
And to see it like in
Yeah.
person is really really neat. So I had like I still have some left, but we got like a deck of just the info cards printed, so we could be like, hey, you should play our game, and then people are like, oh, what's this? I'll put this away for later. So we did that, and then I also have, this is one of the first iterations of the cards themselves.
Oh,
So
cool.
you could see some of the illustrations, some of the card designs, and how the suits kind of come into play on the cards, which is really fun. Now we have made like some changes to this, which are not reflected here, but this is like the first design where we were like, I think we're onto something. I think this looks like a real game. And then of course, no deck is complete without your standard mockups, which I think
Need.
looks really cool. And then I also put together a page of the illustrations so far, which we are going to be animating in Express today and putting together like some cool carousel posts, because Dungeon Deck has no social media presence right now. We have a Instagram account for 20 Minute Mile, which is Potch's company that Dungeon Deck resides under, but it needs posts. So here are the illustrations. Some of them that I've done so far. So we have a mimic chest, of course, because no fantasy dungeon game is complete without a mimic. We have also doubloons, we have pyrite nuggets, we have haunted armor, because of course there would be haunted armor. We have our anxious little worm, who is the small tiny baby of the cavern worm, which is going to be a
A
more
family
horrifying,
affair.
yes, it is definitely the more horrifying counterpart of the worm family,
Okay.
but he is kind of a lower level creature that you can encounter. He's like a 2, you know, in the deck.
He's very
And
anxious.
he's
I can
really,
tell.
he's doing his very best. In fact, I
He's
was telling Emily earlier, there's lore that Potch and I have been writing together that goes with the cards. So the lore for the anxious little worm that I came up with says, the earthen walls echo with a shriek. You find it in the caverns carved by its larger kin. This one, well, he's doing his best.
no notes. That's actually so perfect. This
So
one, he's doing his best.
yeah, he's really trying hard. And I hope that you will allow him to skate past, because clearly he is not equipped to be fighting anything or battling anybody.
He's
Um,
battling his own mental battle up there. I can tell
yeah,
his
he's got
anxiety.
his own anxieties going on. We also have an apple and a potion. These are,
Okay.
you know, things that you can find in the game that will help you regain health along your travels through the dungeon. We have my one of my most favorite illustrations so far. This is Fishwife. And I believe I have lore for Fishwife as well. Fishwife says, let me find her. Half fish, but not the way you think. Though less graceful than those you may have heard of, her song is no less potent.
These are so good.
Yeah, we were having a blast. We also have hand mirror, punji sticks, and the snail idol, which I had a blast doing as well. So we've got these. And now we are going to start putting together some cool animations. Now I do have a few things put together just so you can kind of see what we're going for here. So I'm going to play this. It's just tiny little animations, things that are like kind of simple, but I want to show you how I do them, because while I can animate frame by frame, and I have done so, sometimes you don't have that skill to do, or sometimes you don't have the time necessary to do it. You've got your illustrations, and that's what you've got. So I'm going to go through how I, you know, do things that end up looking like, do we have, I wonder if I have, here we go. I have this one as well. Do things that end up looking really cool for social media, without having to also be like a very serious, sophisticated animator, you know, because why not? So I've got some of these places where you can put text and stuff, but what I also want to do is kind of throw some of these guys in here and kind of give them a place to live, possibly in a carousel post. So I'm going to come in and add a page, and I want to do a custom size, because if I want this to be a carousel post, I want to do a square post. And I'm going to start throwing things in here, and I have all of my work added as a brand. So I have a library for Dungeon Deck, and I've set it to use as a brand. So you can see I've got all of my patterns here. I made like repeating patterns and stuff for the stones, which I can use for backgrounds and things. In fact, we might grab a few of these. I've got all of my illustrations here, all of my top and bottom borders, various versions of the logo, the icons for the suits, and then all of the colors. So you can see like the stones colors. I've got all of the colors for each of my suits laid out, and then I have some random things that are not grouped, but still I pull from them and grab them. So the first thing I want to do is create a post, and I do this every time when I'm creating something for social media, is I try to create one single post or two posts that are going to be like, how do I say it? Like, this is going to be the benchmark for the vibe for the entirety of the brand.
Okay.
And I usually have something like this where it's like in Express, this entire project with all of its pages is going to be where the entire branding identity for this project lives. So I'm going to have reels in here. I'm going to have Instagram stories in here. I'm going to have square posts. I'm going to have all kinds of maybe animated stuff for TikTok, and everything's going to live in here. And so at the head of this project, I would like to make a post or two that, you know, when I look at it, I'm like, this is the vibe. This is what we're doing. So I'm gonna do like an animated suits kind of type vibe
Okay.
here. And I'm also gonna, let's go ahead and group these all together. Something that Express has right now that I have been waiting eons for that I'm super excited about is that you can multi-select all of your layers by holding shift or command, I think now. And I don't know if that's like a new thing or not, but it's definitely something that I was like, yes, thank you.
Working silently, suddenly, yes.
Well, because I work so much in Photoshop and all of these other
Right.
things within the Adobe suite, and so I often will reach over and start doing hotkeys. Some of the hotkeys for those things,
Transfer.
they
Yeah.
work, you know. Some
Some
of
don't.
them do not, and one of them was the holding shift to multi-select. But now we have that. So I'm going to do this little background that's grouped together, and I think I'm going to grab all of my. Let's grab the club. Let's grab the heart. We'll do like the pink heart, and our spade. I think we want to do this spade and our diamond. And I think I can just, yeah. Oops. One thing that I need to make sure that I don't do, however, is drag it and drop it on top of something so it thinks that I'm replacing it. So I'll do these one
Ah,
at a time
yes.
so I don't do that. Um,
I
okay,
do
we've
want
got
to
our
say a
heart.
quick hello. We have at the Potch joining in chat saying, "Hi, Val is the
Yes!
best." So,
Hi, Potch. You guys should all say hello to Potch in the chat. So this project is Potch's brainchild, okay? Potch is the designer for this game. He's also writing lore for this game. He's the one who invited me to this game, and I have been having such a blast with it. So thank you so much, Potch. You were fabulous. And then I think also I want to say, Potch, as if you want people to follow on social media, I don't know if that's prepared yet, but we could also let them know on Instagram where they can find us. I think it's 20 Minute Mile, but I want to check with you because we could totally do that. If you guys eventually would like to play the game, which I hope that you do want to play this game.
if you want to be the anxious verb, play the
Yes.
game. No, I think
I,
this is amazing. And I would love to follow along because all of these posts eventually will be on social media, more or less, right?
yeah,
So, a
yeah.
great place to see these in action once you saw the behind the scenes workflow.
Yes, indeed. And I think what I'm going to do here is, you know, I just kind of drag in a bunch of stuff, and it's looking a little busy right now because the background is pretty crazy and the icons are crazy. I have to say that as I've been working through this project, this is most of the job where I'm like, okay, now I have my illustrations. How do I make them all fit together when they're like hyper stylized? And is
Mm,
it too busy? And it, you know, like kind of noodling and getting them all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up. What I want to do is have these animate and come up and kind of bounce at the bottom of the post. So there's like a little bit of intrigue as I put some text on the screen, but I definitely also want to put something like over the top of our stones because they're a little crazy right now. Val is the person who has made this project come alive. Potch, stop. You're great.
A team effort all the way.
Yes. Let me see. So what I can do is I could change the background color to, if we let it load a little bit, it should give me my colors. There we go. Um, Not the Ted and Val. We want definitely Dungeon Deck. There we go. We could put the cool tone in the back, and then we could kind of lower the opacity of this group if we want,
Smart.
which honestly is not that bad. But I kind of want to experiment with different colors for the background though, because it's a little, ooh,
Ooh,
I'm not mad
perhaps
at
that was
that.
the answer.
Yeah, I'm not
Not
mad
the
at that
first
at all.
try.
Yeah. Okay, let's grab these.
I do
I'm
wish
gonna,
in Express if there were more opacity layers. I feel like something, especially coming
yeah,
from Photoshop Illustrator, there's what like 10 plus maybe.
yeah,
So if those ever came over, I would be a happy camper.
I would be a happy camper too. And I think that this is how we advocate for those changes, right?
Yeah.
Like using it and going over why they're important to us. I think that honestly, after doing Adobe live streams for so long, I can honestly say that sometimes when people are on the stream, they're like, "Hey Express, how come I can't?" Then like 3 months later, they're like, "Hey Adobe Live, we gave you."
We did it. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
so like they do listen. They listen to
Yes.
us. Okay, I want to, it's still a little bit bright, but we're gonna roll with this for a second. In fact, one last,
Oh,
nah, it's a little too, it needs to be warmer.
I like
We're
this
gonna
one.
work on it.
I think
Yeah,
it's great.
we're gonna work on it. Okay, I am going to select all of these, and I'm gonna animate them all at once. We're going to have them bungee in from below. I do not want them to fade. I love this. You can say do not fade and start outside of the page because I like it when it's like a solid element and not with no transparency on it that comes in from off canvas. And I think that this is one of the, while it's also not, like a new function that has been added, it's definitely one of my favorite updates to Adobe Express because I'm working with illustration most of the time that I'm animating and creating stuff in Adobe Express, and I don't often want my illustrations and things that I've painted for clients to be showcased with transparency on them, even if it's just briefly for the duration of the animation. I want like the painting, the drawing, whatever it is, to be like solid. So being able to do that has been really great. Okay, so we have our bungee. I want to put a loop, and I want to do. I think I want to do Bob.
I like
Yeah,
that. Has
I
good
like Bob,
energy.
but we also want to stagger it. Because we don't want it to be too crazy. So I've gone into my editing to edit our timeline here. Now this is only like 5 seconds long, so I might increase the length of this. Let me make sure all of this goes to, yeah, goes to the end of the canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stagger these. Let's see. I want to make sure that our order here aligns with the order that they're in there. This is a tip for you guys if you're ever working with elements and animating in Adobe Express and you want everything to be ordered on the timeline that you're editing the same way that you're seeing it. Check out your layers. Because if I, like I said, if I reorder this here, you can see that they do reorder on my timeline. So if you're wanting to change those orders and stuff and you can't, you know, grab them and drag them, like you want to if you were animating in, say, Premiere or After Effects, and that's, you know, not really coming across, check your layers order, and that will solve that for you. So I'm going to bump these in a stagger here. And another thing that I'm going to do, because what I want them to do is go boop, 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 boop in like a row across the bottom. But I also want to make sure that the bob that they do is not synced. I want them to have their own little like bob animation. So another thing that I can do is come into the animating and change the speed just slightly on all of them, because that way when they do animate, if for some reason they do end up getting synced a little bit, which sometimes happens, they will all like slightly offset each other, which I prefer. So let's do like a little, let's increase that like so. Okay. And now we're going to play it. Please.
Please express.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
That is, why are you spinning?
He got lost.
I might have clicked spin over here by accident when I was moving the playhead. Why did you do that?
And one is lost in space.
Yeah, one is doing his own thing. He's outside the box. There we go. Yeah. So they kind of, you know, they kind of do their thing.
Oh, I think it's
Um,
great.
yeah, so I can do, you know, like a little post that has this little animation. Now I'm looking at this. I almost want to say I like the background, but I think that what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna open my pages. This is what I do when I make something and I'm not sure if I like it yet or not. I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm gonna come over here and hold shift and multi-select layers. Heck yeah. And I'm gonna delete these things and turn this on full opacity. And then I'm just gonna have that in my pages so that I remember, oh, you wanted to do something at some point with like a full page of stones. Because I think that the stones maybe are not right for this page. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this to our, this is like the color that signifies like warm white in our project. And then we also have this brown that's is like in place of our, instead of black, you know, our warm black. But I think we're going to do this one, and I think we're going to accent, maybe I'll make this a little bit larger. We're going to accent the top and bottom with like header borders instead of doing a pattern in the back, because I'm also thinking I want to put text, you
Right.
know. Let's add body text, and I don't want to have it so busy that it's difficult to look at. I am going to put, I'm just going to grab some of our flavor text, some of our lore, and put it in here as placeholder.
Please, more lore.
Yeah.
I love the
Um,
lore.
so that's going to be there, and I'm going to duplicate and just have like two separate things. We'll put the flavor text for fishwife in here.
I think it's so funny. Fish, but not in the way you would think.
Yeah, half fish, but not the way you think.
I don't know what
Fishy.
I thought, but it wasn't that.
No, it's not. It's so when Potch and I were discussing what that meant, because we were, just in case anyone's wondering how something like this comes together, it is Potch and I in a Discord call cackling like goblins over all the funny stuff that we can add to this project. It was an absolute blast. And we were like, okay, Fishwife would be a cool one to do. I really wanted to do Fishwife, and it was one of those where he's like, so what do you think should go in here? And I was like, I know what I want. But I don't, I don't make all the decisions. And he was like, no, that's your veto. Then that's your veto. And then Visual gets to be a part of it. And I was like, yes. And so we were coming up with flavor text and lore stuff together. And I was like, half fish, but not the way you think. And he was like, not the way you think or not the way I think, because I'm thinking half fish split down the middle. And I was like,
Ah.
that is way worse than fish on the top, woman on the bottom. That is way worse. That's the worst kind of mermaid I've ever heard of in my life, honestly. And he was like, see, so it's not the way you think. It's not the way I think. And I was like, you are thinking crazy, but I like it.
I just like the ambiguity of it. Whatever you were thinking, it's just not that. Like,
Yeah,
so,
whatever
whatever.
you were thinking, it's worse than that for
It's
sure.
different. Yeah. I think
Absolutely worse.
it's vague and it's funny in the same. Yeah.
All
I
right,
love
we're
it.
gonna do, this is our, I really like um how our body copy looks, to be honest. I'm very satisfied with the font chosen for it. Now, this is maybe not exactly where I would put text, but we're gonna do it this way
Okay.
because, you know, we just need something in there. We are gonna change the text to be our substitute black color. I am going to grab just like a random element for, yeah, let's go into shapes. Grab a square. And I'm going to put like a little border roughly on the top. Now, something that I should point out as I'm starting to like put a bunch of things together for this, just like with illustration or anything that you're doing, sometimes we use a little saying called trust the process, right? We leave notes for ourselves, we designers, as we're going through a process of creating something. And this is how I do that. I trust, um, wisely or unwisely, we don't know. But I trust that eventually I will be able to put together a full set of, social media graphics that are going to do this project justice. So as I'm moving through the beginning of this, um,
Cool.
I am throwing stuff at the canvas. I am not really worrying about like, is this finished? Is this as perfect as it could possibly be? No, I'm not worrying about that, because this is like a decent start to a post that has text on it. Now we move on. Now we go to the next thing. Okay. Because if we do not, I don't know about you, but I will start like being incredibly precious with everything that I
Yep.
add, and it will become miserable for me. So we're not going to do that this time. We are going to put it all together very quickly. And what I did there, by the way, is I just duplicated this. So now I have like a second one, and we're going to move these icons to a different place. So let's select all of these.
And when you paste it, does your animation go with it or does the animation go away?
Yeah, yeah. It
Whoa,
totally goes with it. So
there
it's
they
a little
are.
crazy because I've moved them around and whatnot, but absolutely, when you duplicate it, when you copy paste, it definitely goes. I also copy paste from different pages in Express. I believe I haven't done it in a while, but if I want to do this, if I click my little haunted armor guy and say uh, Control C, I can come over here and add him and he'll load. But so I always have my deck with all of these different things thrown in on one of my other tabs so that I can kind of work in between them and do stuff.
That's so
And maybe
handy.
we'll animate him next, because I was thinking that we would do something cool with our suits actually, but I lied. We like him. We're going to do this actually. So something that I love to do is I like to kind of hack my illustrations apart in order to add elements for animating. And what I mean by that is I'm going to do some crop magic with this to add more life than I actually have available to me, make more elements than I actually have available to me. So we have our subject here in the center, and what I'm going to do immediately is I'm going to duplicate him and make sure that he's lined up. Okay. I'm going to grab the one that's underneath it and hold shift and use my arrow to just bump him over, because I want him to be aligned perfectly still, but I don't want to look at him just yet, because we're going to edit this top one here. And we are going to kind of single out these little pieces of ectoplasm and stuff so that I can place them around and animate them around the character. So I'm going to go ahead and I think we're just going to crop for now, because cropping is easy. And then we're going to use our eraser tool and hook it up even further. So we're going to go like this. Boom, there's a little piece of ectoplasm. And then we're going to say enter. We are going to come into erase. And we are going to erase around. So now this little piece of ectoplasm is on its own. And then we're going to say done. And now we're going to bump our illustration back over here until it's aligned with our little piece. Okay. And then I'm going to bump my piece over. And I'm going to come to this one underneath here, and we're going to erase this one. So if you are not, seems really convoluted and strange, but if you are not an illustrator and you have illustration pieces, or you're working with the graphical elements in a project, but you are not the painter, the illustrator, or whatever, and you need a way to like kind of liven those illustrations up, this is a really great way to kind of make it a little extra special, kind of a workaround for, we have certain animation gestures within Express, but we are creating our own essentially now. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to move him, boom, back over here, and now we're going to animate this. So let's do a bob. And let's play. How long is that going to last? Let me go into my timeline. Oh, it's only like 5 seconds, so
We need
I want
more.
to get
I
that.
think, Val, this is a really great workflow for even like the light edit and even what you're saying of like, if this isn't necessarily your asset and you don't have the ability, this is a great way to just really up level everything that you're working on.
Yeah. And I mean, in this case, I am the one that did the illustration and
This
stuff, and
in
I
this
don't
case.
feel like, I don't
Yeah,
feel like animating all of the stuff from scratch. And this is like a cool way for me to come in here and just have something special. Now we are going to do another one, but this one we are going to duplicate our little baby ectoplasm and make sure he's lined up. And then we're going to double click it, because we're going to just come over and crop around this guy now.
I love it. I
And
feel
once you
like
do that, it takes no time at all. Oh,
done.
and yeah, I'm going to make sure that we have I'll bump him over. You
I
were
know
saying,
that.
I feel like something. Sorry, I
Yeah,
cut
let
you
me
off.
tell you my feelings. I feel like this is really helpful, especially if you're working with other people on your team, right? So say that you were the person who was creating all the illustrations and you had someone else who was working on the social media of it, or, doing even just other print assets or something like that. Being able to manipulate it like this, I think is really helpful. And
Yeah.
trusting that it's going to maintain the integrity of the piece and do it all at one spot, I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree. And I am, like I said, I have done animations before. And I've done animations in After Effects and Premiere and stuff. I have also done animations in the frames in Photoshop. I
Yep.
used to do a lot of that. I have also done animations just in fresco, which I really actually really love the animating in fresco, but sometimes I just don't have the energy or time to do that. And honestly, like you said, if you're working on a team, you're working with a team of people who have access to uh, doing all of these things, working with it, kind of creating social media stuff. This is a great way for them to then interact with your piece in a way that doesn't warp or transform the actual artwork.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now we have
Oh,
our
fun.
little, yeah. So we can do that a few times. you know, if we want to create, like, because I would go and crop around all of the other little pieces, little bits and pieces. And then you can even, you know, let's duplicate this and we'll just actually bring it over here. You know, why not? Why can't we put another one? And this is maybe a part where, because it's my art, I can have the final say and say, yeah, we're going to add more little ectoplasm pieces because that would be cool
Right.
to do. You might, you know, check with your illustrator later and see if that's something that you could do for your project that you're working on. But this works for mine. And it is also, if I go, let me go into my pages. That's what I did here with this guy. You can see I have all of the little trinkets and stuff kind of cut out and doing a little bob around him. I could even go and, instead of having them animated in clusters, I could do them like super individually, you know? So I think that you really can add quite a lot of detail to a thing like this. And if you, something that I've done before is I've actually painted illustrations in layers, so that, like, for this guy, maybe all of these gemstones could be painted separately to begin with. Maybe I could even paint the pearls here. I could paint them on a separate layer as well, and then I could put a wiggle animation on them in Express so that they are kind of like flailing around, whatever. You can get pretty detailed and pretty clever with just the simple gestures that are available to you in Adobe Express. Um, Highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend.
We do
Um,
have a comment in chat.
yeah.
Natalia says, "This is such a cool approach. Big heart eye emoji." So,
Yeah. I'm glad you are enjoying it. I'm also going to, so I want to create um, posts, like info posts, or at least a template for info posts that can include more of the illustrations. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to create like a speech bubble type deal where the fishwife is singing to you. So we are going to
I would love her to sing me a song.
yeah, we're gonna make the fishwife sing her siren song to you. We are going to honestly, you should probably plug your ears, to be perfectly honest. I cannot confirm nor deny the uh quality of the fishwife's music.
Or the
Um
power of, we're not sure what
yeah,
happens when she sings. We don't
I'm
know.
not sure if anyone has survived the song, but
Chat.
she's really stoked about it.
Yeah, brace yourself. We're not sure what's about to happen. And just for
Yeah.
the record, I will not be singing. Val, will you be singing?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so no singing. You're
Absolutely not.
okay.
So this is the fishwife, and I think that it would be hilarious if she was like, "Hello." Well, I lied. I am singing.
I knew it was
I'm
gonna
singing.
happen.
I don't know that you and I have ever done a live stream together where one of us didn't sing
No,
something.
I think it happens every time, even
I
though we
think it
both
happens
swear,
every
oh, it
time.
won't be me. I won't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sing on the Adobe live stream. That would be crazy and weird. That would
I'm
be
just here
weird for
for
me to
the
do.
art.
Yeah,
Chat
all
is saying,
professional.
I'm a, but
I'm
not a
super.
professional singer.
Yeah.
Chat is saying potent, not necessarily lovely. I think that's
Yes.
accurate.
Yes. So in fact, we're gonna remove the text for the worm, and we're just gonna, because this is actually her flavor text right here. So I think, let me move this
I
over here.
haven't heard the word flavor text before. I want to know more.
Really?
Yeah, I always get like,
Okay.
the romance copy, or I always hear a different word for it, but I like flavor text.
So flavor text is, I think, specifically for card game. Like, I play Magic the
Ah,
Gathering. I don't, shout out to
okay.
anybody in chat who plays Magic the Gathering. The flavor text would be like, actually, if you'll give me 1 second, I have a deck of cards right over there that I can
Within
show you
reach.
where,
Yes, we'll
yes,
give you a
within reach.
second.
Give me one moment.
They're singing their siren song, but in a card way.
Okay. Let me put my headphones back in. So I play Magic, and this is my mean zombie deck. And I don't know if you can full screen, if there's a possibility for full screening, because these are kind of tiny. But let me see, I have my God Eternal Oketra. She doesn't actually have flavor text on her, but let me find, yeah, okay. So this this is flavor text. This is a card. It's an instant card called Spontaneous Flight. It's adorable. There's a little fox on it. But you can see it shows you what the card does. And then here in italics is just a little bit of lore that is really, really cool about the card. So when you're playing the card game, you know, you've got your deck and you're doing this, that, and the other, you're hanging out with your friends, but like the flavor text adds a little bit of world building, a little bit of lore to what you're actually doing. So this isn't just Firefox who helps you get out of a bad situation. This is a character casting a spell in a world where magic is real and that magic has rules and all that kind of stuff. So these little flavor text things do the same thing. So if we come to our dungeon deck, you can see on our first iteration for the card design, there's a little curio spot down here. And we had eventually decided to change the word curio. It'll be something else. Oh, am I out of focus? Oh, I'm blurry. I'm blurry. I got it. Please, please. I'm trying to focus with my hand. Sometimes it'll. Please look at me.
I'm here.
Please. No, no.
I don't know how to reset it.
Hold on. Sometimes I can. Sometimes I can. Oh! Please look at me.
Oh, maybe that
Yeah,
fixed it.
maybe.
I
No,
can't
I'm
tell.
blurry. She blurry. No, no. I just. Oh no. Why? Why would you do this? Maybe if you, yeah, make me tiny, make me small, so that I can,
Shrink me down.
yeah, it's just then it's a stylized like decision. Okay, okay. Also, I don't know if anybody, I don't think that they could hear you, Jacob, but we just started talking to a ghost.
Yeah. We were having the same conversation with the ghost, and his name is
Yeah,
Jacob.
his name is Jacob. But yeah, I apologize that I am blurry currently. But yeah, the text at the bottom of these cards, that is the flavor text for these. So when you're playing the game is cool, but you should also know a little bit about Anxious Little Worm. I think that when it comes to designing a card game, and like this especially, that's so like fun and whimsical and humorous, that flavor text I think adds an emotional connection to the game beyond just the activity. You know, you're sitting around with all of your friends, you're playing this game, the illustrations are funny, and then you get a little bit of like information about
Yeah.
it. It's something to talk about, and also Pasha and I have been having a blast just writing down all the crazy stuff we think about that should be on the card. So it's a good time to make and hopefully a great time to play. So that is the flavor text.
Thank you for the explanation. I'm new here. But
Yeah,
we
that's
do actually
okay.
we have some love for Magic the Gathering in all caps. And then Jacob says, I'm
Yay!
amongst my people. And then Cody says, I just came back and your assets look amazing. And I could not agree more.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you so much. I have had a really great time working on this. I think what we're gonna do, so we do have, here's the thing. We're gonna change. We are going to change the
Brace
fish line.
yourselves. There's a change
Yeah.
coming.
So this is what we're gonna do. And I'm trying to make sure I guess you're keeping track of time this time.
Yes, we
I don't have to
are
keep track of time.
the final 15-ish.
Okay,
So
final 15-ish. Okay, we can
if
do
you can
this.
sing in that time, we would love to hear it.
No.
And I will just lock in really quick. Wait, are you gonna animate the what are the words? The music.
Yeah, we are
Yes.
going to do
I
that.
can't wait.
Absolutely. So we've got the, I'm kind of doing it on the top this time.
That's perfect.
We're gonna go like this. In fact, I think I'm going to separate them individually because they should all be dancing individually. We should not be um, doing these all together. We're gonna have it like that. And then we're gonna move it. We're not getting out of here without singing. You're right.
There's no way. We fall into for the song.
I want you guys to know that when I'm at home designing by myself, I am also doing this. Usually when something is going horribly wrong, typically due to user error, I am singing viciously at my Photoshop.
There's an
What are you
accompaniment.
doing? What was that?
Photoshop the musical coming soon.
It's not a good musical at
No,
all.
yeah. You really
Yeah.
don't want to watch it, but somehow you're forced to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it finds you,
Yeah.
really, is when the
It
musical
actually
finds
possesses
you.
you while you're
You're starring in it before you know it. Yeah.
and there's no time for stage fright. You're just on.
No, no, you're going for it. You don't know how you got there, but you're in it.
But you know all the words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know all the words. You've known them all along.
And that's the flavor text for
Yes.
Photoshop the musical.
That's perfect. You've got this, Emily. You understand. You have picked up what I've put down and you're running with it. That was perfect.
Incredible. We'll let you guys know when opening day is happening and we'll
Mm-hmm.
sell tickets. Goodness.
Yes.
Okay, this
Okay.
is great. So you separated the music notes out, and are we gonna take them away from the fish herself?
Yes. So
Okay.
we're going to do this. You know what I want? We were just talking about
Tell me what you want.
things that the Express team sometimes hears us, and we get things. I would love for the bracket keys or
Yes.
the plus and minus keys to change the size of the brush when I'm here
Yes.
because I
I
keep
agree.
clicking it, but it doesn't do anything.
But I feel like bracket tools are always making the brush bigger. Illustrator, Photoshop,
Yeah,
InDesign? I don't know
InDesign.
about that one.
I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. I don't
But I
know.
can confidently speak on the other two, and I would love if it came to Express.
Yeah. Oh no! I pulled up. I did a Photoshop hotkey.
It's a denied.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. It is like, do you want to see your downloads? Like, no.
I never have.
Never. Okay. Just go back to doing. Okay. Control D. So it's not control copy paste, but I can do control D for duplicate. And I'm sorry, Express, but I will be using the menus to do things on this live stream from now on. Okay. So we have our music notes. Let's do another duplicate on this guy because this is my favorite music note.
What is the name of this note? Is that a 16th? An
That
18th?
is, I think it is. I
An
think it
18th, I
is
don't think is a real one. I think it's a
a
16th,
16th,
maybe.
either a 16th or an 8th.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I should because I play instruments, or I played instruments. I should know the answer to this, but I don't.
Chat, any musicians want to weigh in on what we're seeing right now? If you can name
Yes.
this note, you can be in the musical.
Live from Adobe Live, this just in. If anyone could weigh in on the current, you went full on like news reporter mode there, and I loved it. Okay, so she sings. She
I like
sings
that
for
her song
sure.
got longer. Like she only had a few notes and now she's really expanding on her
She's
repertoire.
wailing in the dungeon right now. Like she's
She's
going for it.
she may be a fish, but she is wailing in the dungeon.
Yes.
Wait, we lost the one.
We did.
The
Yeah,
donut
the
one.
little. There we go. There we
I'm
go.
not even gonna try and name that one. I don't know.
That is a whole note.
Ah,
That is a whole note because it's yeah. Um whole notes, half notes,
other fraction of note.
other fraction of notes. Yes. Okay, so they move. Now we need a speech bubble, and I think that we have
Do you have a
we're gonna
custom
make her
one?
say her flavor text. I have a custom box. I do not know.
It could work.
This will be fine, and we're gonna recolor it because I recolor things constantly in Adobe Express. I make little shapes and things. In fact, I'm wondering if we should, yeah, we could probably do this. We're going to put this under her. I will make a shape that I like, and sometimes I do colorways for it.
Smart.
And if I don't need that colorway, I just go into effects and duotone and I color it however I need it to be colored. So we're going to make it that orange color, and now it's a solid shape, and it's the orange color
Gorge.
that I wanted. And we're going to put our text over top of it.
Wait, Val, have you experimented with SVGs in Express?
I have not. Please educate me because I
You
don't really use SVGs in general that
same.
much.
I agree. Unless like the printer requires an SVG or, a Cricut
Exactly.
printer or something like that, right?
If you ask me to export an
I
SVG
can.
for you, I will do it, but I never choose it myself.
It's true. Now you may feel differently because if you export an SVG file and import it into Express, you can actually change the color of the graphic live in Express. So like that would have pulled up two separate, it would have pulled up your stroke and the fill. And so you can just automatically have more control over that in Express,
Oh my
right?
goodness. Okay. So
Thoughts for
I
the
can
future.
legit. Oh.
It was a meaningful update and
That's a really
unexpected.
meaningful update.
Right.
Okay. And so in preparation for this, and I've done this before, like just to make sure that I'm up to date and I know what's going on. I did look up like, okay, what's new in Express just in case there's something that I could be showing off that I hadn't planned to today. Um and I saw the whole like, oh yeah, there's SVGs.
And you're like,
It's
yeah, who
great. And I was
cares?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't care about that. I've never
Next.
used an SVG on purpose in my life,
Yeah. On
unless a client has.
purpose.
Yeah. um, I'm trying to figure out
I know.
if
I
I
kind of did like
want.
the vertical that you were doing. I thought that was kind of cool.
I thought it was cool too, but what I was thinking that I would do is I would actually like go get a triangle piece and like give her
Mm.
like make this a legit speech bubble. I'm not sure. So we could do. I'm
You
just
have 5 minutes
trying to.
left. So
Oh,
however you would like to spend your last five.
then we're gonna do that. We're gonna grab elements. We're gonna go into shapes. We're gonna do
I think that
this
one's built for the
guy.
moment. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and we're going to take the border off of it and we are going to change it to the proper color. And then I'm just building onto this. We're just gonna make this tiny. In fact, we might even flip it around because I don't know if I like how long that was. We could just do it like this.
Okay. Oh yeah.
No, it needs to be a little longer. It needs to be
We
longer.
did get a weigh-in. Potch has the answer. They said, I see a whole note, 3/8 notes, and some 16th notes. So I think we were
Yes.
right.
Yes, we were.
Incredible. Thank you for weighing in.
Okay, that looks like a speech bubble now, even though I didn't make a speech bubble. So we have her flavor text, looking good. We have an animation. Now, I would perhaps um, do something more interesting.
Hmm.
Honestly, that's kind of cool if we change this color. I might do some cool stuff like this. Maybe orange. Honestly,
Ooh.
that orange is kind of cool. We could
Yeah.
change our text to our light text. I want to select that all. Do
I
yeah.
want it all.
I want it all. Oh, we're singing. We're singing. I can't not do.
I feel
I
like I
was
accessed your
trying.
subconscious. I fed it and then you sang it on accident.
Yeah. Gosh. So we could do that, some little stuff. It's got potential, I could see like maybe some more context down here in the corner with a little arrow that lets you know you should slide over, you should go to the next post and they jumble up. And I feel like it's also very on brand, like I feel like it starts to look the way that it's supposed to look. According to all of our other little bits and pieces. If we grabbed this, in fact, we'll do duplicate from the many system so that Express is like, what if you showed everybody on stream all of your personal files? What if you do that?
Would
Wouldn't
that
that
be
be
fun?
great? So we're gonna do it from the menu system. I'm gonna change this to the brown and I'm gonna do a little arrow. Yeah.
Oh,
Ta-da!
fun. Wait,
That
that
feels
arrow has
good.
so much personality to it.
It's woo
Yeah.
instead of woo. It's
Ooh.
whimsical woo. Yeah. So we can do this, and then just for the sake of having more stuff, we could also throw this down here. I don't know what other little pieces of context we would want. It really would depend on what we're going for, but we can. Let me put this above Fishwife because Fishwife is getting in the way. She hogs attention all the time. Um, but yeah, we could do another little. I don't know if we
Yeah.
would align it like that, but we could do another little thing of
Whoa.
context, like so. Which is a little awkward, a little odd here, but you never know. You never know what you're gonna need, what you're gonna want for your project, and maybe this would be right for it because maybe this is the information, and then we have this big speech bubble where she's just saying something crazy. It could be a fun fact post or something cheeky, something funny. I have no idea. But the idea is that I come through here and I make a ton of on brand posts and animations and things so that when I need to start posting to social media, I have a bunch of really cool stuff that's made for me and it's already prepared. for whatever I may need. All different kinds of layouts, all thrown into this one project with different pages and things, and that I'm never wanting for social media content. This is one of my favorite ones. I
That
like
one's
this one a lot.
amazing.
Yeah, dungeon deck,
The
boom, and
whole
then we could
crew.
do another scene, and it could like have a voiceover with, Potch and I being like, "Hey, please buy our game. We paid for this advertisement."
And it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. Is there
Yeah.
a timeline? Did you mention when this is going to be rolling out, or do people
So
just need to follow along?
there's no official like
Okay.
launch date yet, but please follow along if you go to the I think Potch was like, yeah, 20-minute mile Instagram. I think that we have no posts yet, but we will. You will see this stuff that we made. So I will link 20-minute mile. You guys can also follow me on Instagram, because I will also be posting. And I think I'm still a mod
Yep.
in chat,
I
so I
see
think
it
I
in the
can,
chat.
yeah. So you can follow that. You can also follow moi, because I will be posting all kinds of stuff about it as well, especially as these posts get finished. You guys will start to see them. If you are the type of folks that go to PAX East, PAX West, Unplugged, Gen Con, any of these really cool conventions for video games and whatnot, sometimes you can do a live playtest of Dungeon Deck as well if you would like to come to the show floor and test it out, because there are playtests that have happened, and we will post about those on social media as well, so you can know when those are. But yeah, aside from that, thank you for watching me put together some cool, weird stuff and sing strange songs to Emily.
Val, it was such a pleasure to have you back on. Thank you for telling us the lore and showing this. I definitely am going to stay up to date on when this is rolling out because it seems like a lot of fun. But always cool to see what you're working on and always wonderful to have you on. So, chat, thank you so much for tuning in and stick around. Magdiel Lopez will be up in about an hour with his show On the Spot, and you definitely don't want to miss out. But thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.